Welcome to day one of our 10-day challenge, which is focused on gaining expertise in the analysis of complex survey data. For this challenge, you're going to be using data from the 2024 NHIS. NHIS is a US dataset that stands for the National Health Interview Survey. It is a survey of US adults and is designed to be nationally representative. If you haven't registered for the challenge, please, I encourage you to do so. You can download the dataset by coming to this website, which is provided in the LinkedIn post, and you download the dataset. This is the dataset we're using, the sample adult dataset. To download the dataset, you come to public use data and you can grab the CSV file. Of course, to analyze the data, you need to read the documentation, and so you'll have to download the codebook as well. This is what the codebook looks like. It tells you what each response or what each value represents. So if I'm looking at this variable, for example, this tells me that code number 1 represents yes, code number 2 represents no, and so on and so forth. Without this dictionary, I won't be able to know what these codes mean. So our analysis of data will have to be paired with the codebook. We have to be looking at what we are trying to analyze. Otherwise, the work will be nonsensical. Now, we're using the Chisquares platform for all of this challenge. The Chisquares platform is a one-stop shop for all aspects of data collection and analysis and writing of manuscripts. If you don't have an account yet, you can sign up. I already do, so I'm just going to log into my account and show us the activities for day number 1 as part of the challenge. So I'm going to log in now and log in via my Gmail. So once you log into your account on the Chisquares platform, you'll see the different features on the left-hand side. We are going to focus on data analysis. So I'm going to click on data analysis, and I will start a new project by clicking on this button here. I can then provide a title for my project. Let's call this NHIS Data Challenge. And you can provide a description here, perhaps something like to gain expertise in complex surveys. Of course, you can type whatever you want, and then we can proceed. Next, I have to upload my data set. So I'm going to click this button here and select where my file is saved. At this point, I should have downloaded the dataset from the NHIS's website and extracted it to somewhere on my computer, which is something I've done already. So I'll just go back to the upload process, click this button here, upload, and click on my device to browse to where my file is located. This is where it is, and the file I'm interested in is the adult 24, which is this. I'll click that and then click open. Next, I'm going to click this button, upload one file, and proceed. All right. It takes a few seconds for the system to extract the variables, which it has. Now, immediately a file is imported, you see this pop-up that shows up here, which says set weighted analysis. And the question is, would you like to adjust for complex survey design variables, which are the weight, the PSU, and the stratum? Eventually, we will get to do this, because if we click yes, we will then select our weight, PSU, and stratum variables and account for those in our analysis. But that's not the focus of our attention now. So we're just going to close this and look at our variables. So these are the variables we have imported. The platform uses a very visual way of showing things and analyzing things. So immediately you can notice that each variable type has a designated icon for it. So for example, continuous variables, you have this scatter plot, which just allows you to just look at a variable and know exactly the kind of variable you're looking at. This is a string variable. Then you have categorical variables designated this way. And then you have a variable type called indeterminate. These are variables that have only one unique value. For something to be called a variable, it must vary. That's why we call it variable. So in this kind of case where you have only one unique value, that means that this variable, in quotes, does not truly vary. And so we can't really use it for anything meaningful. And so with just one unique value, it is impossible to know the type of variable it is. And that's why it is designated as indeterminate. And for each variable type that is not indeterminate, you can visualize the variable by clicking on that icon of a graph, and the platform will show the visualization. You can switch the type of visualization you want to see, and the platform will do that accordingly. You can also look at the summary statistics for the variable. So for example, this variable here, I can click on this button to look at the summary statistics. And this will depend on the type of variable that is being shown. In this case, this is a continuous variable, so the platform shows me what we call the 5-number summary. The 5-number summary constitutes the minimum, which is the lowest number, the maximum, which is the biggest number, and then the first quartile, the median, and the third quartile. Together, those 5 numbers make up what we call the 5-number summary. In addition, the platform also shows you the number of unique values. It shows you the number of missing values for that variable, so that at a snapshot, you can get all the information you need about the variable of interest. If it's a categorical variable like this one, let's see the summary. The platform shows you the unique values as well as the counts and corresponding percentages, so you can see what the variable is all about. You can also create notes. If you click on this button here, notes and tags, the platform allows you to add notes. Documentation is very important in data analysis, especially when you're working as part of a team. So if I have certain things that I want to note about this variable, I can add a note, type that note, and save it, such that when I come back to it tomorrow or next year, I can understand the context in which I saved those comments. So if you want to do some additional work on a particular variable, for example, if I wanted to rename this variable, I can simply come here and click the button rename. So maybe I want to change the name from this to weight. I can then type that and rename. And so that's how the platform allows you to make changes to your variables. We will, in the next few days, be going to a deeper dive on some of the features or how we can analyze complex survey data. But for now, this gives us a snapshot of the tasks that we were supposed to do on day number 1. Today is supposed to be a very gentle introduction into analysis of complex survey data sets. For anything you do, you will see in the analysis history a documentation of all the things that have occurred, so that there is a very detailed audit log of every action that you've taken on the platform. You can also preview your data set to view it as a spreadsheet. And so this is a preview of my data set. You can filter by columns or by rows as you desire. If you also wanted to access an entire descriptive of all the variables in one go, you can just click on this button, Descriptive Statistics Report. So if I click on that, the platform takes all of the variables in my data set and generates a report for me that tells me everything about them, variable by variable. And so for each variable, it gives you a summary of it, and then gives you a visualization of it based on the type of variable it is. Then if I wanted to export the data set, I can come to Actions here and click on Export and choose the format in which I want to export the file. It could be as a Parquet file, or as an Excel or CSV file, or a JSON file. Those are the options that are available. So that marks the actions for day 1. Tomorrow we'll move to day 2 of our challenge, which is focused on how do we recode variables. So see you tomorrow. Thank you.